Happy Easter. Today is a day of great joy. And my name is Ondrla. I'm happy to be here with you on this Easter day. I previously was the Director of Religious Education at Ascension, and currently I write for Living the Word and am one of the preaching voices at Ascension. Before we reflect on this great feast, let us pause for a moment to pray in the words of the psalmist. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. This Easter day is the very foundation of who we are as a community of believers. It is the fulfillment of God's promise that death has no power over us. Even without reading the Easter story, we all know what happened on this day. I often think we speak about the resurrection using too many words. In my opinion, trying to explain the meaning of the resurrection in some way limits it or diminishes it. So I will try to be brief. To experience the resurrection is to experience something radically new. Not a life after life, but a life beyond life. Every year when we face sorrow and death, Easter reminds us that life is so much more than we experience in the present moment. Resurrection is the awful truth, the AWEFULL truth, that we can know a life that is more fully alive when we struggle and overcome all that holds us back from it. But this is a great risk, and it takes a great cost. That cost we must be willing to pay each and every time we face death. Many years ago, when I was reflecting on the Easter story with a group of 6 to 9-year-olds in the Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, one of them asked me this question: what does it mean, risen? Those were his exact words, and the way that he phrased them have stayed with me all of these years. What does it mean, risen? I invite you to reflect on this question today. Imagine yourself trying to answer what that boy was really asking. Each one of us, I suppose, might offer a different response. And that is the gift of being part of a believing community like Ascension. In community, we can each share what we know of the resurrection experience. And through that sharing, we support one another in our common hope to live it more fully. We speak of Jesus Christ risen today, not only because it is Easter, but because this day is the reminder that Jesus' risen life is the reality of his presence among us every day. Jesus is risen, and today we might ask ourselves the question, am I? Only if I am courageous enough to follow in the footsteps of Christ, the first one raised from the dead. In today's gospel, the apostles did not yet understand the scripture that he had to rise from the dead. We too struggle to understand. We struggle with what that means, and yet in some sense we do understand it, and we do believe it. But what remains for us is to live into the risen life that Jesus offers to each one of us. Joseph Campbell puts it this way: we must be willing to give up the life we've planned so that we can live the life that's waiting for us. I wonder if this could be the beginning of an answer to the question that boy had. What does it mean, risen? Could it mean living the life that is waiting for us? My prayer on this glorious Easter day is that you may have the opportunity, and the opportunity will bring you closer to discovering your own answer to that boy's question.